What's going on, everybody? Kalipa's Tech here, coming back at you with another video. This is tips, tricks, and cool features for the Motorola Moto G Power 2022. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is a quick shortcut to get to your camera. Now, opening the camera app is easy enough, but what if you're doing something else completely on your phone and you're not here on your home screen? So for example, if we're on Instagram browsing through something, sure, you can exit out of the app and open the camera app from there, but I'm going to show you an even quicker way to do it. Now, it's not set up properly by default, so let me show you real quickly how you can do that. First thing we're going to do is go to our settings. From here, we're going to go to System. Now you're going to want to go to Gestures. And right here, where it says double press power key, you're going to want to tap here. As you can see, by default, double pressing the power key is going to launch the assistant, but instead we can have it launch the camera. So now, same scenario as before. Say we're on Instagram browsing through something, and you want to open your camera real quickly. Now all you need to do is double press your power key like this. And there we go, the camera is open. It's definitely a real easy thing to do, and I want to say with most Android phones these days, double pressing the power key is going to open your camera by default, but for whatever reason, Motorola decided to default it to the assistant instead, even though you can open the assistant just by going like this. So I don't really know why they did that, but whatever, it is what it is. So if you do want to use that feature, be sure to set it up like that. And in case you missed anything, I'm going to go over it one more time. So from the home screen, we're going to go to Settings, System, Gestures, and double press power key right here. It's near the top. And again, by default, it's going to launch the assistant, but all you need to do is switch it to launch camera, and that's pretty much it. And then of course, if you don't want it to do anything, maybe you keep accidentally double pressing your power key and either opening your camera or opening the assistant, you can just hit none. And then when you double press your power key, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to lock it. But there you have it. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to show the battery percentage on the status bar. As you can see right here, we got the battery icon, but there's no percentage here. So I'm going to show you how to get this battery percentage up there. So we're going to go to Settings. And by the way, there are two different ways you're going to see me do this. The first one is just by going to the Settings app that I dragged right on the home screen from the app drawer. And the second one is by opening the quick menu by swiping down twice, once for the notification center and the second time for the actual quick menu. And the settings icon is this little gear right here. It really doesn't matter which way you do this, but just keep in mind there are these two ways. But anyway, back to the battery percentage, we're going to go to Settings. From here, you're going to want to go to Battery right here. And as you can see, battery percentage is right here, and all you got to do is toggle it on. And there we have it. Now, I personally don't really like this look a whole lot. I just like to have the icon because look what happens when we don't have the battery percentage. So I'm going to turn this back off. Status bar looks nice and clean, but then if I really want to see the battery percentage, all you really need to do is open the notification center and it's going to be right there anyway. But either way, it's definitely up to personal preference, so however you like to set it up, you should of course do it that way. Now while we're on the battery menu, I want to show you another cool feature called Battery Saver. As you can see, Battery Saver is right here, so we're going to go here. And as you can see, I can turn it on right now. And it's going to go into a low power mode that's really going to turn off a lot of the phone's features so you can save some battery. As you can see, we're in dark mode right now because it consumes less power. And keep in mind that when Battery Saver is on, your performance is going to be a lot slower, and I mean a lot slower. So you don't want to have this feature on unless you really need it. And by really need it, I mean your phone's got to be like 20% or below that. And you really need to be in a dire situation where you have to get to a charger. That's one of those times where it'll actually make sense. But under normal circumstances, you don't want this to be on. But luckily, the signs of Battery Saver being on are so apparent that it's pretty hard to miss. Besides being in dark mode, there's this little red highlight around the battery icon. And if that's not enough, by default, Battery Saver is going to automatically turn off when you're charging your phone and it reaches 90%. So you probably won't have to worry about accidentally leaving it on. But if you want to make turning it on more convenient, there are two different things you can do. First of all, you can set a schedule, and this isn't really a schedule by time per se. This is actually by battery percentage. So if we tap here, you can set Battery Saver to turn on at a specific percentage. So I personally would have it at 20%, but you can put it at whatever you're comfortable with. Now the next thing you can do to make battery saver a little bit more convenient is turn it on and off quickly. So basically, you don't need to go all the way to the battery menu to do this. All you need to do is open your quick menu. So once again, to get to your quick menu, swipe down once for the notification center and twice for the quick menu. And as you can see, the battery saver icon is right here highlighted because it's on. And if I want to turn it off real quick, all I got to do is just tap this. And there we go. The phone is back to normal. And if you ever want to turn it on again, do the same thing. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called adaptive brightness. Adaptive brightness basically adjusts the brightness of your display based on your environment. So if you're in a really dark room, the brightness is going to dim because you don't need your phone to be that bright in that situation. But if you're in direct sunlight or something like that, then it's going to brighten up a lot, so it'll once again be easy to see. The idea behind adaptive brightness is that having your brightness at 100% at all times, first of all, consumes more power, and second of all, can be a little bit harder on your eyes. So adaptive brightness attempts to solve both these issues. So to turn this feature on, it's really simple. All we're going to do is go to Settings. From here, you're going to want to go to Display. And adaptive brightness is right here. Toggle it on. And as you can see, the brightness of my display adjusted a little. Now this feature is not for everyone. I even don't really use it myself. I like to keep my brightness at 100% at all times, but I definitely suggest trying it out and seeing if you like it, because it's really going to be based on personal preference. Now with that being said, if you do like to have your brightness at 100%, but you still want to make the display a little bit easier on your eyes, there is another option, and this is the nightlight feature. So from the main display menu, we got nightlight right here, right above adaptive brightness. And with the nightlight feature, basically it's going to tint your screen in an amber color, and this is going to filter out some of the blue light from the display, because it's usually the blue light that really bothers people's eyes. You can play around with the intensity as well. And this is a nice compromise, so you can keep your display at full brightness at all times, but still have it be a little bit easier on your eyes. You can also schedule it to turn on from sunset to sunrise, or a custom time. And like a lot of features on this phone, you can actually access nightlight from the quick menu. So we're going to open that up. Go to the second page, and it's right here. The next thing I'm going to show you is the Attentive Display feature. Now, in my beginner's guide for this phone, I showed you how to adjust the screen timeout time. And if you haven't seen that video already, I definitely suggest checking it out. But anyway, changing the screen timeout time is all well and good if you want to keep your display on for longer. Say you're reading, watching a movie, viewing photos, something like that, and your phone keeps falling asleep on you. But the drawback of just changing your screen timeout time is if you set it to the longest setting, which is 30 minutes, then unless you remember every single time to lock your display when you're not using your phone, it'll stay on for 30 minutes at a time before auto-locking, and that's going to drain your battery a lot more than you might think. So the alternative to adjusting your screen timeout time is a feature called Attentive Display. Basically what this does is uses your front-facing camera to detect your face, and as long as you're looking at the phone, the display is going to stay on. It's a really cool feature, and in my experience, it actually works surprisingly well. So to turn this feature on, all we're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Display, go to Advanced, and Attentive Display is right here near the bottom. So as you can see, it's not on by default, but all you need to do is toggle it on and you're good to go. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called 3-finger screenshot. Honestly, this is one of my favorite features on this phone. It's not really a game changer by any means, but it's just cool. And it's a little more convenient than having to go like this every time you want to take a screenshot. Now this feature, I believe, is activated by default, but in case it's not working on your phone, it's probably off. And in that case, to turn it on, what you're going to do is go to Settings. From here, you're going to want to go to System, go to Gestures, and 3-finger screenshot is right here. As you can see, it is on by default, but if it's not for whatever reason on your phone, this is where you're going to go to turn it on. Once the feature is activated on your device, all you need to do to take a screenshot is put 3 fingers on your screen like this. And there we go. It's really easy and it's kind of fun to do, so I'm definitely a big fan of this feature. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called Prevent Ringing. Basically what this does is puts your phone in either vibrate or mute, depending on how you want to set it. This is actually a similar button combo to taking a screenshot, so don't get the two confused. So instead of the power key and the volume down key like you would use to take a screenshot, you're going to be pressing the power key and the volume up key instead. So like this. And as you can see, it's going to go right into vibrate mode. And in case you want to double check, this icon right here on the status bar is going to tell you that your phone is actually in vibrate mode. Now, what if you want to put it in mute instead? Well, that's really easy to change. All you need to do is go to your settings, go to system. From here, go to gestures. And right here, prevent ringing, you're going to want to tap here. By default, it's set to vibrate, or you can have it set to mute instead. Now, if I press the same buttons, which again is the power key and the volume up key, not the volume down key, but the volume up key, be sure to keep that in mind because the volume down key is going to take a screenshot instead. And in this situation, we don't want that. We want to put it in mute. So instead, power key, volume up key, press them real quick at the same time. And now the phone is in mute instead. And in case you're wondering, the icon for mute looks just like this. The next thing I'm going to show you is one of the more interesting features in my opinion, and that is the fast flashlight. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically just a quick way to turn on your flashlight. I honestly can't remember if it's on by default or not, but just in case it's not activated on your phone, let's take a look at how to turn it on. So just like a lot of these other gesture features, we're going to go to settings. From here, go to system. And gestures once again. And as you can see right here, we got the fast flashlight and it looks like it is on by default. But again, in case it's not on your phone for whatever reason, this is where you're going to go to turn it on. Once the feature is active, all you need to do to turn on your flashlight is go like this. One more time. I will say it does take a little getting used to, but once you get the motion down, it's super easy. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is yet another gesture feature, and this is actually another way to get into your camera. I gotta hand it to Motorola. They give you like 3 different ways to activate your camera. Not that the average person is ever going to need that many camera shortcuts, but it's still pretty cool. You got a bunch of different options, so I'm definitely not complaining. Now again, in case this feature isn't activated on your phone, let's go over it one more time. So we're going to go to settings. Go down to system. And from here, we're going to go to gestures. And this time, all the way at the bottom, we got quick capture. As you can see, it is currently on. And when it's on your phone, all you need to do to activate your camera is go like this. And that's pretty much it. We're in the camera now. Everything is all good. Now I can't really say that's more convenient than double pressing the power key because it's really not, but it's still cool that Motorola gives us so many options to do so many different things with this phone. But those were my tips, tricks, and cool features for the Motorola Moto G Power 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. Once again, if you do want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review and beginner's guide of the device on the channel. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.